find the amount of GST. So the first part, they want you to find 9% of 380. That is what they want you to do. Amount of GST. How much is the GST in terms of dollars? Then the total amount of money she paid. So this one is original plus the amount of GST. So this one will, second part will be 380 plus answer from part 1. Okay? Try, go, do. Singapore maybe also know one guy of thirst.
Yeah.
No. No. Because I love saying no to people. Yes. Okay, Ken?
I'm happy here. Maybe.
Can get 414.2?
Yeah.
Math is so easy, right? Okay, let's skip question 13, go to question 14. 14 is more like the kind of questions you may see in your final year paper, in your N-level paper. Is real life situation. So today if you go to a restaurant and eat, there will be a service charge, there will be a GST. So what are all these components? Number one, when we go to a restaurant to eat, they charge us $24.90. The $24.90 is for the food. Okay, for the restaurant, the chef, they provide you this food, but they usually will charge a service charge. This one is for the waiters who serve you, who go and later have to clean up your table, all this. So you go to restaurant, usually they will also charge you a service charge of 10%. Okay? There are, in different countries, there are different ways to charge you this service charge. In USA, usually they don't charge service charge, but after you eat, it is common for people to pay tips to the waiter, waitress. So after they pay the bill, they may put another $10 there for the waiter, waitress. That one is also considered paying for their service, giving a tips. So Singapore, we don't have this tipping culture. Usually the restaurant will already charge you this service charge. It is like that. Singapore is like that. So when you go to a restaurant, you see the bill, it is common that they will first tell you your bill may look like this. Maybe you order a fish and chip, how much? Your Coke, how much? Then they will add up all your money already. They will give you maybe $100. Then they will write there service charge. Then they will calculate 10% of this $100. They put there maybe after 10% it is $10. Then they will add these two together. Okay? Then this one, after you pay for the service charge already, there will be another GST. So there will be another 9% of to be added, to be calculated from this 110. So the payment is you have your total amount first, then you charge a 10% service charge, then on top of everything, you charge another 9%. Okay? So that is how it goes. Okay? So when we are doing this question, same. We start with a price that we pay for the set lunch, $24.90. Then there is a service charge of 10%. So we have to first find out, after the service charge, how much are we paying? So we will write after service charge. The total amount, 10% is the service charge. Then this one is the original 100%. So we can take 100% plus 10%, which will give us, what is 100 plus 10? What is 100 plus 10?
110.
So 110%. Okay? Meaning we are adding the 10% already. So 110% of $24.90 will give us what is the price we pay after service charge.
Right.
27.39. Okay? So at first, the lunch is $24.90, but after service charge, it is 27.39. Then, this one is after service charge, we still have to pay GST. And the GST will be 9% on this thing. So after we add the 9%, we are calculating 9% of this now, because the GST is charged on this amount. So now this is the new 100%. Just now 24.9 is the 100%. But when we are calculating GST, GST is 9% of this. So this is now the 100%. Different, huh? When we are calculating the service charge, 24.90 was the 100%. When we are calculating GST, this one is the 100%. So I can take 109% of 27.39. Hey, sorry. Max and 2 friends order. So all together they order 3 sets. Okay? So this one is each set. Each set we have to pay 29.86. Then Max and 2 friends order a set lunch each. So all together there are 3 sets. So we multiply this by 3 to get the final answer. Okay? This is 1 set. 1 set. So 3 set. $89.57. Or you can first find 3 sets of 24.90, then after that you multiply 110%, then after that you multiply 109%. Either you first find 1 set, multiply by 3, or you multiply by 3, then go through the multiplication also same. Okay? So this is the most important of this topic. More likely to come out in your final year exam one will be your GST. Okay, Ken. Hey, next we want to go to commission. Commission, very short one. Okay? Bear with it for a while. Then after that, we take a short break. How everyone done? Okay, okay. Let's go to next question. Commission. We will just touch on the basic of commission. Have an idea. Okay, again. We go to the understanding of what is commission first. Commission usually goes to agents, okay? Where if I help you to sell your house, the more expensive I can sell your house, the more you should pay me. So it is usually calculated by a percentage. Okay, so the better I am at selling your thing, the more money I get. If I'm very lousy, your house worth $100, I only sell it at $90, then I will get less money. So commission will be based off a percentage. Okay, so let us read this. In sells an apartment for $825,000. So in this case, In is the seller. After the sale, her property agent. So this person is the one helping to sell her house. This person receives a commission. So commission is like the salary like that. Okay? 1% and 2% of the selling price. So these percentages are of the selling price from in and the buyer respectively. So in this case, hey, this one important, listen. This agent is receiving commission from both the seller and the buyer. Okay? So in this agent help in to sell the house, he get paid from in, the seller. Then someone buy this house from the seller. This buyer is also paying this agent because this agent managed to help him find a house to buy. So the buyer also pay this agent. This is the story now. Okay, so the property agent received 1% and 2%. Then they say respectively. Then here 1% and 2%. Here is seller and then buyer. So respectively means the first number here is referring to the first person here. So this 1% is the seller commission. This second number is referring to the second person here. So this 2% is the buyer paying 1. So seller pay him 1%, buyer pay him 2%. Okay? Both are percentage of the selling price. So the selling price is 825,000. So this is the whole story now. Okay? If you know the story, the calculation is not that difficult. How much in receipt after paying property agent? So in is the seller. I sell the house. I sell the house for 825,000. Then after that, out of this 825,000, I must take some money to pay the agent. How much money? 1%. Okay? So I don't get the seller don't get the full payment of 825,000. This is what this question says. I only get 99% because 1% I have to pay the agent. Jairus, how? You understand the whole flow or not? Now you explain. How, Jairus? Huh? Okay, because this agent, he is working as an agent for the seller. He is also working as an agent for the buyer in this story. That's why this agent received 1% from seller and 2% from buyer. Good question. Wei Kiat is paying attention. At least he is asking why there are two different commissions. Okay. One more information not mentioned in this question one is in Singapore, the law is you cannot represent both the seller and the buyer. So this thing won't happen in Singapore one. Okay? Seller must have an agent, the buyer will have a different agent. Okay? Last time can. 10 years or 20 years ago can. But then after that Singapore banned already. Because agents, you cannot represent both seller and buyer and act in the best interest of both parties. When I'm the seller, I want to sell as expensive as possible. When I'm the buyer, I want to buy as cheap as possible. So if you are the agent, you're supposed to work for the seller or you're supposed to work for the buyer. So there is a conflict of interest. So Singapore banned this practice already. So now agent can only either be working for the seller or working for the buyer, not for both at the same time. Okay? So this question is a bit outdated already. Okay? But no choice. The question asked like that, we answer like that. So the property agent receive a commission of 1% from seller. Then part 1. How much seller receive after paying property agent? So step by step, it will be easier if we first find out how much the seller pay the agent. So the seller pay 1% of 825000. So the amount is $8,250. Okay, so this amount is seller pay agent. But this is not the answer to part 1. The part 1 is asking us how much did the seller receive. So the seller sell at this price already, pay this amount to the agent. So end up the seller only get 825000 minus 8250. 816750. Can understand? So far part 1 we working on the seller side, but the property agent also receives 2% from the buyer. Okay, so we also calculate 2% of the selling price I told you after this question.
Okay.
You all never listen.
I didn't hear.
Oh. You never hear because you're not paying attention. Maybe you don't deserve a break.
Don't try, because of it.
Yeah.
Workers' rights, workers' rights.
So
I said workers' rights now.
I am the worker here. So I should have my workers right. You all are the students, you all not even working.
Hey,
What? Trouble, you see,
accusations, I actually do work.
Oh yeah, he does.
So I work at McDonald's.
Minimum.
Really?
I work at Burger King.
Oh.
I think you just have
Okay, so altogether the agent receive 8250 from seller, receive 16500 from buyer, so altogether 24750. until 10:25.
Come on. Ask for something to the best one.
Can I eat that?
Yes, yes.
Is it
Tell me
break?
eat a bit.
Is it break?
Yeah.
Wow, still free.
Come back 10:25 ah.
Hey, can you come on?
Yeah, but it is too much.